don't look away. This video will change how you see Brazil and maybe how you see yourself, because Brazil doesn't just affect your life, it affects your brain. Most foreigners don't notice it at first. That's the dangerous part. They arrive thinking, I'm just visiting. But Brazil is not a place you observe. It's a place that observes you back, and slowly it changes you. Let me explain. In most countries, your brain can relax, patterns repeat, rules stay consistent, people behave predictably, your nervous system learns, I'm safe to be neutral. Brazil does the opposite. Brazil never lets your brain turn off. The environment is always changing, the signals are mixed, the emotions are loud, the rules are contextual. Your brain stays alert, not scared, awake. This is why foreigners say, I feel tired, butchy, alive. Now, here's what really happens. Brazil trains you to reality faster. You start watching faces, listening to tone, feeling the mood of places. You stop trusting signs. You start trusting intuition. Foreigners rely on logic. Brazilians rely on perception. And perception rewires your brain. This constant environmental scanning, this need to interpret subtle social cues. It's not just about fitting in. It's a survival mechanism that evolves into a superpower. You learn to see the story behind the words, the intention behind the smile. It's like your brain develops a new high-definition sensor for human interaction. And once you have it, you can't turn it off. Now, let's talk about emotion. In many cultures, emotion is controlled, filtered, delayed. In Brazil, emotion is immediate. People react now, laugh now, argue now, help now. There is no emotional buffering. This shocks foreigners, but slowly they adapt. They become more expressive, more reactive, more present, and they don't even notice the change. This rawness of emotion can feel like a storm at first. You see a stranger on the street burst into laughter or tears with an intensity you've only seen in movies. But then you realize it's not a performance. It's just life unfiltered. And gradually, you start to lower your own emotional shields. You find yourself laughing louder, caring more openly, and feeling things with a purity that you had forgotten was possible. You're not just observing emotions. You're participating in them in real time. Now, let's talk about danger. Brazil is not constantly dangerous, but it is constantly aware. Awareness becomes a habit. You learn where to walk, when to speak, when to leave, when to stay. Your brain learns to scan environments automatically. This creates intensity, but it also creates sharpness. Foreigners leave Brazil saying, I feel slower back home. That's because their brain was trained to move faster. It's a state of heightened consciousness, not fear. You develop a sixth sense for the flow of the street, for the rhythm of a neighborhood. You notice the guy on the corner who's been there too long, the sudden quiet in a noisy bar, the shift in energy when a certain person walks into a room. This isn't paranoia. It's situational intelligence. Your brain becomes a highly calibrated risk assessment tool, running constant subconscious calculations. That's why returning to a more predictable environment can feel like watching life in slow motion. Your hyper-aware brain is looking for signals that are no longer there. Now, let's talk about social pressure. In Brazil, you are never invisible. People look, comment, react, engage. This forces participation. You can't fully hide. You can't fully disconnect. This can feel overwhelming, but it also breaks isolation. That's why foreigners feel more human here, more exposed, more involved, more real. In many societies, you can walk through a city and feel like a ghost. In Brazil, that's almost impossible. The cashier will ask about your day and mean it. The person next to you on the bus might start a conversation. You are seen, acknowledged. Your existence is confirmed by others constantly. For an introvert, this can be exhausting, but it is also an antidote to the loneliness that plagues so many other parts of the world. You're forced to be part of the collective tapestry, whether you want to be or not. And in that forced connection, you often find an unexpected sense of belonging. Now let's talk about contradiction. Brazil trains you to hold opposites, joy and sadness, chaos and affection. stress, and laughter. At the same time, your brain stops looking for consistency. It starts accepting complexity. This is exhausting and powerful because simple systems feel empty after that. You might see a breathtakingly beautiful sunset over a neighborhood struggling with deep social issues. You'll experience a moment of pure, unadulterated joy in the middle of a chaotic, stressful day. Brazil doesn't force you to choose one feeling over the other. It teaches you that life is not a binary choice between good and bad. It's a messy, beautiful, and often paradoxical mix of everything at once. Your mind expands to accommodate this complexity, and you develop a greater tolerance for ambiguity in all aspects of your life. Now, here's the part nobody warns you about. When you leave Brazil, your brain doesn't switch back immediately. You feel bored, disconnected, understimulated. Life feels quiet, too quiet. Foreigners think they miss Brazil, but what they really miss is how Brazil made them feel alive. You miss the mental workout. You miss the emotional intensity. You miss the constant stream of data your brain was processing. You're back in a world of muted colors after living in Technicolor. The problem is, your brain is still wired for that high stimulation environment. It craves the input, the challenge, the raw humanity. It's an addiction to a higher state of being, a state of being fully and completely awake. So answer this honestly. Would you want to live in a place that constantly challenges your mind, that never lets you fully relax, that forces awareness, emotion, and adaptation? Some people thrive. Some people burn out. That's why Brazil transforms people differently. Brazil is not just intense. It is psychologically demanding and psychologically addictive. That's why Brazil doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like a phase of your life. A software update for your soul that you can never uninstall. Now it's your turn. Did Brazil change how you think, how you react, how you feel? Did you notice it only after leaving? Share your story in the comments. Brazilians will recognize you instantly. Thanks for watching